It's now my pleasure to introduce you to our speaker. Your well-being and mental fitness impact your practice and shape the way you lead and navigate challenges. Training your brain to strengthen resilience and optimise performance is more than a skill, it's critical to success. In this session, you will uncover the hidden roadblocks, stress, self-doubt, and mental barriers that hold you back. You'll explore how neuroscience and mental fitness techniques can help you rise above these challenges with clarity, confidence, and resilience. Our speaker knows this journey firsthand. An international speaker, positive intelligence expert, and author of Choose to Be Your Own Champion, she empowers individuals and organisations with the tools to transform stress into strength and setback into opportunities. With energy, humour and practical insights, she helps people uncover the inner champion and lead with confidence and joy. Please may I ask you to put your hands together to welcome Dorice Horenstein.
Millions of dollars in the next, okay, make sure you come here because the first million is on me, all right? I'm gonna throw it up like this, and not yet, but you can. No, we will get it all the way. Look at this, they're picking it up now. It's all good. I have one for all of you. I'm going to tell you how to make this money. I love this, first million, yes. I'm gonna tell you also what blocks you from getting there. And the first thing I wanna ask is a question. Okay? I want you to answer me the first answer that comes to your mind. The question will be right here. What is not wrong with your life? I bet you if you're like 99.9% of the population, this question caught you by surprise. Because the first thing you think is, what is wrong with our life? Our brains naturally go to that place of what is wrong. Why? Because that's how we were created at the beginning of times. We had to know about the poisonous leaf, the dangerous person. We were operated so many times from the sympathetic nervous system. Don't let the name confuse you. It's nothing but sympathetic. But this is where our brain is. In today's session, I'm going to move your brain waves, even without you knowing, to the different part of your brain. And I know that it's not easy. But together, we're going to try it. Are you ready? Raise your hand. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Even though I say we're going to do it, I know that it's not easy. And when some things are hard, I call it being in a state of oi. Everybody say oi. Oi. Oi is when we feel negative emotions, negative feelings, negative thoughts, right? Thoughts goes into our emotions or our feelings, and then it's in a loop. And sometimes when it's a long time in a loop, then it translates as a behavior. It translates as an action. When I talk about oi, I talk about stress, overwhelm, anxiety, imposter syndrome, self-worthiness that is low. I talk about guilt and blame and shame and anger. Raise your hand if you experienced any of these negative emotions. We all have. You are all human. So now the question is, how do we move from that oi? I would like to start a game with you. Are you ready for a game? This is, by the way, is going to be a session where I'm not only going to talk to you, I'm going to talk with you, okay? So take your hands. Put your hands like this, right? Put your hands like this. Yes. Excellent. Now I want you to put your hands close to each other. And now I want you to rub your hands and feel the rubbing. Rub, 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 rub. What do you feel? Heat. Heat is also energy. And energy, now you can stop. We are getting the energy. And energy is something that you bring into every place you go. Some people think that they leave their energy at home. Whatever something bad happened, you leave it at home, you come to your office. But can you really? According to science and physics, we actually emit magnetic energy around us. Have you ever gone to an office, to a meeting, and you saw somebody with a really negative energy? You felt it. They didn't have to say anything about it, but you felt it. You felt the energy low. On the other hand, have you gone to a meeting where the energy was so supercharged, and even though you were not that feeling great, the energy just picked you up? Yeah? That's what we call, when we talk about mirror neurons, where your neurons are reflecting on somebody else's behavior. We'll delve into that as well today. And when you feel that place where you can really vibe with somebody in a positive way, I call it being in a state of joy. Joy is the opposite of oi. I'm known as the oi to joy champion catalyst, okay? So first of all, let's all shout together joy, right? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Joy! Yes, okay. Now, in order to get your voices more, we're gonna do a little competition. You guys are gonna be oi. You guys are gonna be joy. On the count of 3, you guys are gonna start, and you guys are gonna respond. I wanna see which one is louder. Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oi! Joy! Oi! Joy! Oi! Joy!
Okay, it seems like joy was louder. Would you say? Okay, this room is an equal opportunity employer. You guys now are oi. You guys need to up. Are you ready for upping? Because you're gonna win this, right? You guys are oi. You guys are joy. Ready, set.
Oi! Joy! Oi! Joy! Oi! Joy!
I think joy clearly wins throughout, right? And when you are in a state of joy, the one thing about being in that joy, where I'm going to take you throughout today, is a place where you have to be in the present. So, if you have any distraction, focus right here. You can't say, oh, I'm going to be joyful when something happened, right? Joy is being right here, is feeling connected. Joy is when you feel a sense of optimism. Joy is when you say yes to that mindset, and that mindset is what I'm going to talk to you today. That is where we're going to dive right in, that mindset. And you know that growth leads the way. You heard Tamsin yesterday talking about the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, right? If you were here, you heard that. This is the place of the growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, I'm going to try my best to move you over. But you need to be receptive. Because, bottom line, joy, the place where good feelings are, the place in our brain that it's open and curious and optimistic, a place where we have empathy and love, all that is a choice. It's a choice. You make a choice every day where you want to lead your life. And by the way, this poem is actually a song that I commissioned. And you all will have a QR code with an access to download that song. And let me tell you, it will pick you up every morning on your way to work because it's a really cool song. I like that song. Okay, and before we move on, I talked to you a little bit about the mirror neurons in your brain. You have that. And we think of mirror neurons as market sentiment indicators in the financial world, right? You have to decide what you're going to do based on the trends, based on the news, connected to the investor behavior. Same thing with those mirror neurons in your brain. You can duplicate somebody else's. And according to physics, we actually have 3 to 6 feet where our body emits energy that is positive or negative. So think about the responsibility that you, as business owner, as somebody who deals with clients, the energy that you bring, we heard on main platform, is how much you should invest your energy. I'm talking about a different kind of energy. I'm talking about the energy that you bring with you every place you go. And we call it the contagion effect. Contagion effect. Now, if you're strong in your mental fitness, then you will be not taken down because you'll be strong in who you are, in what you want to get from your life. And today, this is where we're going. So how do we do it? Albert Gray, anybody knows the talk, the famous talk, 1940, to the financial insurance services. Exactly, the common denominator of success. And he said there's one thing that sets apart those people from people who fail. And that one thing is creating a habit. So what is the habit? I want you to think in your mind. What is the habit that you want to create? Do you want to have more products? Do you want to have a better team building relationships? Do you want to get yourself more educated? Do you want to have less angry, less blame? Think of one thing that you want to do. Because if we think about everything, nothing can happen. So in this session, for it to be the best for you, think about one thing. And then today, we're going to talk about how we actually make it a habit. Now, you know that our minds, according to a Canadian study from 2024, our mind is producing 6,200 thoughts a day. Some other people come up with a lot of higher numbers, but according to very last research, 6,200 thoughts a day. 85% of those thoughts are negative. Negative. 85% of those thoughts are negative. And guess what? Most of them don't happen, don't come to fruition. But our brain is so used to thinking those negative thoughts over and over and over again. So with what Albert Gray suggested in 1940s, and together with what I'm introducing to you today, you will have not only the key, but the glue. Because you have gone to many amazing sessions. I've been in several of them, amazing sessions. What this session is offering, it's the glue to the how-to. And what's the reason for it? So, are you ready to have the $1 million mindset? Yeah. Yes? Yes, raise your hand. Raise both hands. Yes! Yes, we're both hands ready to go. Amazing. So, you're probably wondering, why did Dorice Horenstein, this person on the stage, why did she have us rub our hands? Why did she ask us what is not wrong with our life? You know, after all, this is not about the train the brain. Well, without you even noticing what I'm doing, I ever so slightly began moving your neural pathways from the left side of your brain, from the sympathetic nervous system, to the parasympathetic nervous system. Why did I do that? I brought the humor at the beginning. I brought the connection to the present. I asked you what is not wrong with your life because I wanted you to turn into what is right in your life. Why do I want to move you to a different part of your brain that not many people use all the time? Because in that other side of your brain, that's when curiosity, that's where passion, that's when purpose, that's where you can actually not only be more productive, but happier. So how do we get there? These are the objectives for today. Understanding the roadblocks that sabotage your performance. We're going to gain self-awareness to enhance your effectiveness. We're going to utilize neuroscience tips and tools to have less stress. And then we're going to gain actionable steps. How exactly to get there? So let's start. What is positive intelligence? This is what I will teach you a lot. Now, if you have a negative emotions and negative feelings, we're going to normalize that right here, right now. It's normal. Like when I came to America, I came with one suitcase, $600, no coat, to Portland, Oregon in December. Rainy, cold. I know about OI. So if you have an OI, I totally see you. When in 2018, when I decided that I'm going to leave the work that I've had for 16 years, running education programs, and do this, speaking to audiences that I did not know, not knowing the first thing about what does it take to be on a stage to talk to you. Imagine the OI, the negative feelings that I've had. But with positive intelligence, I was able to now verbalize it and now, therefore, teach it to every single person that comes my way. So, what is positive intelligence? Your capacity to respond to life's challenges with positive rather than a negative mindset. Raise your hand if you want to have it. Yeah. Because the impact is actually threefold. Number one, peace of mind. Number two, healthy relationships. And number three, peak performance. You all want to have those three things. I know, because I've done it millions of times. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Every day, you or someone on your team actually sabotages that. Every day. Now, how do I know that? Because every day, somebody will have a negative emotions. And by negative emotions, I mean the stress, the blame, the anger, the doubt, the imposter syndrome, the insecurities. Every single day, somebody or you on your team will exhibit that. So when I talk about the saboteurs, and I'll use the word saboteurs, I mean negative emotions. And when I talk, a lot of people, first thing that comes to their mind is, Dorice, aren't negative emotions sometimes good for us? Don't we need them to grow and survive and accomplish things? So if you ask this question, which is totally valid, I want to ask you back a question. Is pain good for you? Raise your hand if you think pain is good for you. Yeah, I agree with you. Pain is good for you. Imagine you didn't feel pain. Your hand will be burnt to the bone. So of course you feel pain. The million-dollar question is, how long? How long do you want to keep your hand on the hot stove? Same thing with negative emotions that it comes to you. It's okay to feel anger, blame, guilt, insecurity. It's okay. Because if you didn't feel those feelings, you will not know, well, how to stop them. You will not have the time to go deep into it. But the question is, same question. How long do you want to have those negative emotions? Now, if you have a negative thought and a negative emotions and you keep it for a day or two, people will call you moody. Oh, he's moody, has a bad day, We all are entitled to bad days, right? But if you continue that day in and day out and day in and day out, then it becomes your personality. And so the question is, who do you want to become? I know everything about being angry. Really, I do. Running a lot of educational programs, sometimes they didn't go successfully. I know. And sometimes I would carry it on my shoulders. Everybody forgot about it, and I will still be mushing myself in that negative emotions. And blame, huge. Mostly not me. Yes, so I know. But here is the truth. All of your saboteurs come from a place, originated in a place of strength. What we say is your strengths are being used and abused until they become saboteurs. So let me demonstrate it. Think of a strength that you have. Something that everybody knows you are amazing. Are you kind, loving, organized, very meticulous. You do the best Excel sheets ever. Everybody in your office just love those. Now, do you believe that that strength that you have, when taken too far, can become a weakness? This is when saboteur takes over. When your strength in what you amazing at is being used and abused. And that's what this session is all about, is understanding, is having that self-awareness of you want to keep that strength, but you don't want it to go into saboteurs. And the research foundation of this is very simple. Positive intelligence is not a woo-woo out there. No, it deals with 4 different sciences: positive psychology, cognitive psychology, neuroscience, and performance science. And all of this together were demonstrated and taught and written a book by a guy named Shirzad Shamin, who is my coach. I'm coach number 45 in the world, and that puts me on many stages sharing Shirzad's message. He wrote a book, Positive Intelligence. It's on Amazon. You can buy it. You can read that book. You can get into it. It's absolutely unbelievable. And here is, I distilled everything that we know into 3 core muscles. There's only 3 core muscles. Just like when you want to draw something, you know that there is 3 basic colors that creates the gamut of colors. Same thing with positive intelligence. Number 1, we're going to learn today what are the saboteurs and how we intercept them. Number 2, we're going to learn what is the sage. How do we access them? And number 3, we're going to learn about self-command. These are the 3 things that we are going to do together. So here is a little bit of a neuroscience. There are 10 saboteurs. There's 5 sage. Saboteurs live in the brainstem, limbic system, part of the left side of our brains. Sage lives on the opposite side, on the prefrontal cortex, on the empathy circuitry, part of the right brain. Sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. Oi, joy. This is the neuroscience. Now, all of our saboteurs, all of them, are originated and rooted in a place of fear. All of them. All of them. Stress, anger, guilt. If we had more time, we can talk about why is that stress is actually down below. It's somewhere to do with fear. Now, some people said to me, hey, Dorice, can we be successful even if we operate through that side of our brain? And the answer is yes. You can be successful. You can make money. The million-dollar question is, are you going to be happy? And the answer is no. And why? Because you will experience those negative emotions of anger and stress, which is the opposite of happiness. Now, if you operate from the sage perspective, where you will feel empathy, purpose, living from your bigger why, values. If you operate from that side, not only will you be happy, but you will be more successful. So you always have to ask yourself, what is the price that I'm paying staying in the saboteur land? And is this worth it? And now, what I'm going to be teaching you in the methodology, you can take it to your work, but you can also take it to your relationship with your loved ones at home. I want you to take a picture of all the 9 out of the 10 saboteurs, because we're going to use them. These are the names of the saboteurs. Yeah, we're going to use them because we're going to play a game. So I would like you to have that as a picture for you so you can refer to it. Now, by the name of the saboteurs, which I'm going to read in a second, even if you don't do a self-assessment, which, by the way, we have, and behind the $1 million card that you will all get, there is a QR code where you can do your 10-minute self-assessment. You'll get the result right into your inbox. You will know your saboteurs. But you know what? You already know. You already know if you have the controller saboteur, the hyperachiever saboteur, the restless, the stickler, the pleaser, the hypervigilant, avoider, victim, hyper-rational. You already know it. Now, what you may not know is the level. And the level goes from 0 to 10. Now, if you took this test and you score on any one of these under 5, then you either did it while sitting at the pool and drinking tequila or pina colada, or not connected at all to reality, or you are truly an angel. So happen to roam through MDRT and find a place right here in my session. Most of us will score higher than 5 on 1 or 2 or 3. When I started this work, I scored 8.7 on the controller saboteur, on the hyperachiever saboteur. And why am I saying that to you? Because I want to normalize that. We all have them. Not one person doesn't have them. The question is, once you know you have them, and you feel that your hand is on the hot stove for a long time, do you want to change? Do you want to make your life better? Now, pay attention that I did not say you are controller, you are hyperachiever, you are, because you are an amazing human being. You are what I call, and that's what my book is, the champion in your own life. And I truly believe it. I don't have time to go into it right now, why the champion and why did I choose this word. But it comes from an ancient understanding of the word champion, which you all are. Now, sometimes we don't even know it. So that champion is when you think about how my strengths are utilized with my team. And how do I serve my team? Those places of strength, don't let go of them, because they're what makes you unique and one of a kind. This is what makes you the champions. So if I had the permission, I would be playing that song, We Are the Champion. You all know that song? Yeah, right? We are my friends. You know that song? I cannot sing today. To the end, exactly. That's that song, yeah. But when we operate from our limbic system, we show up in a little different way. We show up as that someone with a controller, someone with a hyperachiever. So I want you to stand up. I want you to stand up. Yes, stand up. Yes. Shake your body, move your body. Yeah, exactly. And I want you to reflect in all honesty on this. What is the impact? Still stand up. What is the impact of your saboteur on your productivity, on your relationships, and on your wellness? What is the impact? I want you to reflect on that. Now, working with the financial industry for a long time, I come to do different workshops. What I found out is out of the 9 saboteurs that I gave you, that you took a picture, 5 of them happens more often than the others. So what I did is I created a game for all of us to understand how saboteurs use and abuse your own innate power. Are you ready for the game? Here we go. Guys, are you ready? You can move around. Because, yes, you are going to move because... Okay, we don't have time. All right. All right, sit down. I'm going to let you guess. Look at your phone and look at the 9 saboteur picture. I'm going to show you the strength of that person. This person is confident, action-oriented, persistent, challenge self and others. Who do you think that is? Hyperachiever. Any other choice? Controller. Yes. Controller. Would you want to have somebody with these strengths on your team? Yes, right? It would be silly not to have somebody like me on your team, right? Yes, silly. So when things are good, and when we, people with the controller saboteur, operate from that place, from the parasympathetic nervous system, from the sage brain, we have that. And that's joy, complete, right? Now, how do we show up, however, when we're not operating from our strength? I was shocked to find out. And by the way, you know, when I started introducing myself to positive intelligence, I didn't think I had any saboteurs. But I found everything wrong with my husband. Oh, I knew exactly the saboteurs and I knew how to fix him. Because that's what we do, right? It was a very humbling moment, to say the least. Like, oh God, I do have 8.7, ooh. And this is how people with the controller saboteur, and I'll be leading the charge on that, show up. We need to dominate. We can be confrontational. Pushy, can you believe it? Me? Pushy? What? Intimidating. Not open to influence. Me. I had to look at this straight in the eye and say, oh. Not good. Not good at all. So how do I get to only operate from my joy, from my sage? But before I tell you that, let's say another one. Look at your cards. Who is easygoing, flexible, adaptable, seek peace and harmony, relatively non-judgmental? Or, I heard that. Avoider. Avoider. Yeah. Would you want to have somebody with these strengths on your team? Yes. Some of us would want to live with somebody like that. Yeah. So that's a good thing. We like that. But this is how the avoider shows up when they have negative emotions, when their strength is taken too far. This is how the avoiders show up. Now, let me tell you, sometimes when you don't know, you think everybody behaves in the way you expect them, or the way you do things. Guess what? We are different in the way we operate in this world. This is how the avoider operates when they are engulfed with negative emotions. Avoid difficult or unpleasant tasks. Procrastinate. Not direct. Resist others through passive-aggressive behavior. See, while you wanted them to work with you, when they appear this way, you're like, maybe not. And that's not good. Oi. Here's another one. This person is perceptive, logical, capable of deep insight and understanding through analysis. Who might that be? I heard that before. Hyper-rational. Yes. Yes. My husband is a hyper-rational. And when he comes from this side, logical, oh my God, I love that. Absolutely love that. Because I'm not as logical, so when he's doing it, amazing. However, when he comes from his saboteur, this is how we show up. He can't deal with people and emotions. He comes off as arrogant, skeptical, hurt relationships by not being empathetic. The person who is a hyperachiever and their level is high, the biggest challenge is relationships. Their biggest challenge is relationships. So then, what do? How do you always go into that sage? Before we do that, here's another one. Who is loving, giving, tunes into other people's feelings? You got it. Pleaser. Yet, by the way, would you want to work with a pleaser? Yeah. They'll take care of you. They'll take care of you. And we want that. Yet, when they operate from their left side of their brain, this is how they come. Resentful, because they're constantly pleasing. You see, somebody like me, I don't see that. I think they're doing good, but suddenly Jane over here is avoiding me, feels resentful, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on in her mind. I can't read her thoughts. Wouldn't it be amazing if you knew who you work with and how they operate? I think that's amazing solution to so many of team buildings. People do team buildings activity and they go rock climbing. I say, do team building and actually get into this, you know. Nobody needs another rock climbing. I'll go to rock climbing with my girlfriends. Not that I do that either. All right, last one. Here you go. Who is high standard, detail-oriented, bring organization and order into chaos and ambiguity. They stick to deadlines. They will make sure that your project will be on time and under budget. Who is that person? I heard that here. Stickler. This is the stickler. They will be absolutely make sure that they crossed all the X's and they made it great. However, when they operate through negative emotions, this is how they show up. Saboteur abuse is their perfectionist. They cause anxiety in themselves and in other people. People don't want to deal with them when they behave like that. They're very critical. I had one time a client that she was a stickler, and her daughter, 7th grade daughter, came to her and she says, "Mom, I want to show you this matzeget, this slide deck that I built." And the mother said, "Okay." The girl shows her the slide deck of her 7th grade. And the mom at the end says, she told me this in a coaching session. She says to me, and the first thing that came out of my mouth that I almost wanted to die was, "I saw some imperfectionist in your font." The font was not consistent. And the minute it came out of her mouth, she realized, oh my God, what have I done, right? Awareness is number one. So I taught you about 9 saboteurs, which you have the picture. This is number 10. And why is it different? Because unlike the saboteurs that you may have 1 or 2 or 3, and they're different, this one, we all have. We all have it. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter which country you were born. We all have the judge. And the judge shows his ugly head in 3 ways. Number 1, judge ourselves. I'm not good enough. Who will buy this from me? They gave me a chance. I screwed up. I'll never be successful again. I'm not worthy of even being here. That voice in your head that says, I am not blank enough. Second, judge of other people. If it wasn't for John over there, our team would be so much better off. If it wasn't for Rebecca over here, we will be already successful and we'll hit our benchmarks. And then, judge of the circumstances. If I was born in a different country, I would be so much more successful. If I was born to a different family, I would have it all together. And that judge, combined with the accomplished saboteur, creates this salad in our brain. So the question is, are we going to let it feed our brain, or are we going to fuel our brain with the different things? Now, if you want to take a picture of all the 9 saboteurs with how they're a strength and how they're abused, happy to do this for you. Yeah, this is all, because I only did 5, these are all the 9. So you can see it. And if you come and you take the $1 million in the back, you can do the self-assessment. So you know. So what do we say when things are not good? Oi. Now, are we doomed? No, we are not doomed. Why? Because we all have the sage. And the sage is in that place in the region where positive emotions, when peace and calm, clear laser focus. This is where we are. This is where we want to be all the time. Now, let me talk just a second about formation, of habit formation. Your brain is neuroplasticity. That means it can shape and move itself. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can actually change your neural pathways. Now, when something happens, negative event happens, automatically we will go into what is wrong. We will go into saboteur behavior, naturally. Now, what about if some event happened to us, and it still happens, but we do what we call PQ reps. We pause, we do PQ reps, and then we may go into sage. The more we do it, because I want you to imagine your brain as you have lots of bushes, and you go through the bushes, and at the beginning there's no path. So you go through the bushes, and now the bushes flip back behind you. But you go back, and then you do it again. And when you do it again and again and again, over and over again, you create a neural pathways. We have, the human brain has 100 trillion connections. 100 trillion neurons. And those 100 trillion neurons can create 500 trillion connections. So, not every connection works, because if every connection worked, we will be like chickens with our heads cut off running around, right? And we don't. But the more something becomes a habit, just like Albert Gray was saying, by repetition, the more you create these neural pathways. And that's what we're going to do now. So how do you create that neural pathways? 4 steps. Number 1, the minute you feel negative emotions, you stop. You say, I am feeling negative emotions. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to do PQ, which I'll demonstrate in a second. Third step, you're going to say, okay, what is the gift and opportunity right here for me? We call it the sage perspective. And the fourth is you're going to choose one of the 5 sage powers. So let's do this together. Negative emotions, you stop. It takes self-awareness. You got to say, I'm feeling guilt, blame, shame, anger, stress, anxiety, imposter syndrome, insecurity. Stop. And now you're going to PQ yourself. I call it charge yourself. And I want to do this with you together, okay? Now, it's different than meditation. Why? Because I'm not going to let your brain go anywhere else but my words. So I'm going to speak, and you are going to do as I say, okay? All right, so put your phones down somewhere. Sit up straight in your chair. Uncross your legs. Yeah? Sit all the way back to the end. Yeah, exactly. With your eyes open, I want you to take your thumb and your fingers like that. Yeah? And I want you to rub it around so you feel the ridges of your fingers. PQ is connecting to your body in all the senses. And we're going to try and do a few of them right here. So keep on rubbing with such attention that you can actually feel the ridges of your fingers. And if your brain goes anywhere, you bring it right back to feel the ridges of your fingers. While you're listening to me, you're doing this. Now I want you to put your hands like this. And I want you to go up and down like this. And I want you to observe your hands. Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it smooth? And if your brain goes anywhere else, you bring it right here to your touching. You remember, this is how we started today. I had you do this as the game. Remember? So do that. Now, put your hands next to you like that, and now close your eyes. I'm going to teach you a breathing technique that you inhale in 4, you hold in 4, and you release in 6. And I'm going to say it, and you're going to do it. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 3 and 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Concentrate only on your breathing and focus right there. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. If there is a thought that comes into your mind, you name it by one word and you let it go. You creating a white canvas in your own brain. And now I want you to listen to the farthest sound that you can hear. Is it the air conditioning? Is it the fan? And now I want you to listen to the closest sound that you have, and maybe it is your own breath. Now I want you to take your right hand and put it on your heart. And now I want you to connect to your heartbeat. PQ is a term that we use for positive intelligence quotient, and it's connecting you to your body. So I want you to find your heartbeat. And if you need to move your hand, do that. Now I want you to move your hand down to your stomach and feel the rising and the falling of your chest and stomach. And again, if there is a thought that comes, you let it go, white canvas, returning. Now put your hand back to the side, and everybody take a big breath in and a big breath out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. If I were to, right now, put your head under a functional MRI machine, what we will find is that you have less lit up areas on the gray matter in your left side of your brain and more lit up areas on the right side of your brain. Now, this we just did for 2 minutes. What do you think could happen if you do it 2 minutes in the morning when you wake up, 2 minutes before meetings, 5 minutes before you go to bed? How do you think this is going to impact your daily ways? Now, when people talk about mental fitness, the only way to be mentally fit is for you to run your brain rather than your brain runs you. We love our brains, but sometimes, as you all know, our brains goes and creates stories. Why? Because its first mission is to protect you. So if you ever want to start a new program, you want to do something that you have never done before, your brain instantly will tell you, don't do it, because you've never done this before and we don't know the results. So the more you tune into that side of your brain, the sage, the more you have curiosity, the more you will find the courage to do the things that you want to do, because you will not be wrapped up in a blanket of fear. So when we do that, we have now 5 sage powers. These are the sage powers. And when you do any one of these, empathize, explore, innovate, navigate, and activate, you're accessing this only on the right side of your brain. So here is what I want to show you, the questions that you ask yourself. Now, in positive intelligence, when I have longer period of time and we do actually a deep dive, then we go into each and every one of these, because each and every one of these has a game to play, so how you access it better. It has a hero, meaning somebody that you can say, oh my God, that person is that. And then each one has their own way of how you delve into it. But right here, I wanted to put question that you ask yourself for each one of these. So for the empathize, and that's something that we're not good at. What is the most loving and compassionate thing that you can say to yourself right now? When the judge is active, We can be compassionate maybe to other people, but to ourselves, oh no, oh no. We hold ourselves with such sometimes hard expectation. Number 2, explore. Can you be a curious anthropologist and look for different ways and find all the details about what exactly is the issue that you're dealing with? You can only do that from the right side of your brain because it has no judgment. Innovate. How can you come? We have a positive intelligence game that is actually originated in a drama. It's the yes and game, but we do it in a certain way that actually brings more ideas and innovation than others. Now, why do we do that? And we have this plan that you can come up with a silly ideas, as long as quantity is more than quality. We don't worry about quality on the first level. Because you all been in a room, you come into the room and there's ideas, and you say your ideas, and somebody says, first thing, well, you know what, I don't know if this is a good idea, right? We'll all have been there. What happens to that person, let's say me, right? I come in and I have this idea, and somebody says, you know, this idea would never work. What am I going to feel? Yes. And then I'm going to think, you know what, I'm not going to say more ideas because maybe they're also stupid and idiots, you know. So I'm not. But if I kept on going, and maybe this idea of mine was not really a great idea, but somebody heard my idea, the not so great idea, and they thought, oh, maybe we can take that, but we're going to do it this way, and maybe that will be actually good. The minute you stop the innovation by shutting ideas down, you actually block it for your whole team. So how do you generate as many ideas without evaluation and judgment? And navigate, love that. Sort what matters and what does not matter. This is the power where we meet our wiser elder self in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And then we ask, what is the purpose of us being here, doing what we do? And when we do that, when we ask ourselves, when we are in a sage brain, we get answers. And the key is then listen to those answers, because those answers will be your superpower in how you continue to move forward. And then you activate. No plan is good unless you do something about it, right? It can stay in your head, nobody will ever know. So how can you be clear and laser focused on what you want to achieve? So today, we develop an awareness. We understand when our hand is on the hot stove. We asked, are we judging? Are we judging right now? Myself, other people, the situation. We talked about the underlying fear. All saboteurs are coming from a fear. I let you contemplate about the damage that your saboteurs actually create in your day-to-day life. And then we think about reframe. Reframe time. What is the opportunity here? You cannot do reframe if you are completely sabotaged, because you always think about what's wrong. And then ending it with one micro step. One. So when I asked you at the very beginning to come up with one habit you want to do, what is the one micro action? It doesn't have to be big. But the world was created one step at a time, one day at a time. Can you do it 1 second at a time? It doesn't have to be. So many times we stop because we wanted to do something grandiose, but we didn't do it, so we stop all the way. One step. So today, I gave you the insight of positive intelligence. That's what many of the sessions are doing. But I also gave you the 80%, which is the mental fitness. I taught you what is important and how you can access it in your own life. And when you do that, you actually are handed a flashlight. You are given a flashlight to light your own way. Now, raise your hand if you have been in a dark room with one flashlight. Have you ever been in a dark room with one flashlight? Yeah. What happens? You light your way not only for yourself, you light your way for the other people in the room. That's what this is bringing. Because when you own it and you do it with practice, some people think, okay, I'll do it just this one time and see what happens. It's the narrow pathways. It's the over and over and over again that you will achieve what you want to see. And when you do that, when you have the flashlights, you have showed that you moved from oi to joy, from sympathetic nervous system to parasympathetic nervous system, from saboteur to sage. And by doing that, you become the champion in your own life. So how do you do that? 3 things that I want you to take today and implement them today. Number 1, be aware of your contagion effect. Be aware. What do you bring into every room you walk into? See, if you're strong in your mental fitness, and let's say you are +7, and you go into a room and there's somebody, let's say, -5. They're clearly sabotaged, they're -5, okay? If you're strong in your +7, what could be what could happen then? You bring the -5, maybe to 0, maybe, okay? You bring them to you. Now, if you're not strong in your mental fitness, you're just, a good day for you, so you're a 7 because you're just happy goer person, and somebody comes in and they're strong in their -5, what happens to you? You go down. You go down with them head first into an empty pool. Mental fitness causes you to be a plus and to bring people along with you. And it starts with your understanding your contagion effect. Number 2, we all could be 10% out of our comfort zone in order to grow. Some people, maybe this is the first time you've ever done a PQ session. But here's the thing. We don't grow in the same place we've been. We only grow in the opportunities open when we have the growth mindset. So can you be 10% out of your comfort zone at any given time? Not be so sure about everything yourself and everything that you do. That's number 2. And then number 3, always ask yourself, can I turn this into a gift and opportunity? Can I turn this into a gift and opportunity? And when you do that, and you do it consistently over and over again, guess what? You give everybody flashlights. Everybody in your team is going to have a flashlight. And the world is going to be lit. Because it's not only one flashlight. It's everybody's got a flashlight. Now, I don't know what you think about what's going on in the world, but the world could use a little flashlight. And more than one, right? This is one way of giving you all the flashlights. Because when you do it, and you do it in a responsible way, when you understand love and compassion and empathy and all these things that are in your side of your brain, then you have become the champion in your own life and the champion for other people. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.